Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how I created this submit file button for ChatGPT. When you click on the button, you will be prompted to upload a file, and the script will take the data of that file and submit it into ChatGPT. And if it's a large file, the script will take the data and break it into chunks and feed it into ChatGPT. Now let's take a look at the prompt we will be using. In the first part of the prompt, we're asking ChatGPT to create a button called submit file, and then it should add this button on an element on the web page. Then we provided with more information on how to design the button. We also asked ChatGPT to create another object that would represent the progress bar, and as well as the properties for that. And now we asked ChatGPT to create an element that will receive these types of file formats, and if the files are over 15,000 characters, then break them into chunks and submit them into ChatGPT. Just a note, ChatGPT can take a little bit over 15,000 characters at a given time. However, when taking in that much information at one given time, ChatGPT might have a hard time digesting the information, and the results may be less accurate. Okay, in the next part of the prompt, we provided with some code for some guidance on how it would insert the information into ChatGPT. Then we also specify how we want the data submitted. We want to include the part of the chunk that is being submitted, and as well as the file name. And finally, we ask ChatGPT to update the progress bar for every part it submits. Once all the data has been submitted, then turn the progress bar blue. So before we get started, this here is our test file called test.txt. You can see that it has a lot of code inside. So let's take all the code in this file and copy it, and let's paste it into ChatGPT and see what happens. And you can see that we received an error message that the message that we submitted was too long and that we needed to reload the page to submit something shorter. So let's see if we can find a solution for this. Let's start a new chat and insert our prompt. Okay, so now that we have our code, let's copy the code, right-click, select Inspect, then select Console. And then I'm just going to clear these errors here. And what we're going to do is we're going to paste the code inside here and hit Enter. This will inject the code into the web page and should add our button. So there we have our button. Let's click on the Submit File button and see if it works. And it seems to be working. So now let's click on our test.txt and load that up and see what happens. Okay. So you can see ChatGPT loads the first 15,000 characters into the chat. It submits it, and you can also see the progress bar reflect how much is being inserted. So once ChatGPT provides us a summary for the data it just received, it should then submit the next 15,000 characters. Okay, so it looks like it just completed, and it provided us a quick summary of what it received. And so if we scroll all the way up here, we can see that it says part 1 of test.txt. So it's providing us with the section that it's submitting, and it's also providing us the name of the file we just inserted. And you can see here the same thing for part 2 and for part 3. Now let's take this code and turn it into a bookmarklet. Let's first copy the code, then start a new chat session, and we're going to type in, please convert the following code into a bookmarklet, and then paste the code. Now let's copy the code, and let's head over to the bookmarks icon here. Now let's select More. I'm going to name this Upload File to ChatGPT. And then I'm going to paste the code into the URL box. Now click Save, and now we should see our bookmark on the top left of the page. When we click on that bookmark, we should see our button pop up on the web page. Okay, so let's give it a click. There it is. Let's select our file. Okay, so it's working. Okay, so just a tip here, you can actually stop ChatGPT from generating a response and making this whole process faster. However, you might run into this error where ChatGPT says to wait on its response before submitting another message. So if you do want to do that, perhaps you might have to add a delay when clicking on that stop generating button. So let's reload this page. And resubmit our file. And then once we receive our response, you're probably going to want to let it give you 2 or 3 lines before you hit stop generating a response. And it should continue after that. Okay, so it looks like it's working. Okay, now if you want to make this into a Chrome plugin, you can just copy the code, paste the code into a new chat, and then type in, "I need this to be a Chrome plugin. Please provide me with as little files as possible. I will not need a popup.html." Okay, so ChatGPT just provided us with the manifest.json file and a blank content.js file. We're going to paste our current code inside the content.js file. So for right now, we're just going to save the blank version of it. And then let's also save the manifest.json file. Okay, now we're going to scroll all the way to the top and copy the original code we submitted. And we're going to go into Visual Studio and just paste this code into the content.js. Okay, now let's save the file. Let's open up our extensions webpage, and then we're going to click on Load Unpacked. We're going to select our project folder, and there is our extension right there. I'm just going to check very quickly to see if we have any errors, and we do not. Now let's go back into ChatGPT. Let's try refreshing the page, and now you see that it's working. Now let's do a quick test run. And it works. Now, if you're trying this yourself, just remember that you can change the amount of chunks that are being fed to ChatGPT. So if you don't want to use 15,000 characters, you can do it as low as 10,000 or perhaps even 5,000. It would just take more prompts to submit the information. And then in that case, ChatGPT would be able to give you more accurate information. I hope this was helpful, and perhaps you can add this to your coding toolbox. If you guys have any questions or requests, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And if you like this kind of content, hit the like button and subscribe. Until next time.